nominating process, which is not the council that nominates, it's the Human Rights Commission that nominates, and the council confirms.
So you have to have these two documents together, because the only parts of this original ordinance that are being changed are numbered in the new ordinance document. Okay. So the only parts of 3.129 that are changing are C and J and K. They're subset 3.129.010 and 3.129.020. Those are the only two sections that are changing. The highlights, the changes are in bold.
Trying to mess with or change the Human Rights Commission's charge as little as possible. I do think it's a good addition to add that members are encouraged to establish relationships. But I met with Demeter and others. I suggest that you try to establish relationships with a lot of elected officials throughout Montgomery County. I think that would be really helpful.
I actually thought there was a reference to that, to the reporting of the whole council involved. Otherwise, I
thought there was too.
It only says annual report. But
in the old one there is, in the section that Dan Hill was on. I think.
I'll check on that. Maybe it's one of the.
But in this one, the only reporting is for the, if the commissioner in charge, that would be whoever has supervision over this office, that reports to the council 6 months, etc. And that's it.
Well, I'm anticipating that the Human Rights Commission will continue doing its annual report.
Yeah, and that's the only mention of it is to report at least annually to the council. And we're talking about different, slightly different structure, I think, where we actually have a relationship.
Now, the old ordinance suggested at minimum report annually to CISMA, minimum.
So we've got asked reports to the council and the community annually and as requested. So if you, the Human Rights Commission, wanted a report from the office about something, this ordinance requires that would happen.
I just have a couple of clarifying questions for the future office. Should it be ratified by City Council? The current Office of Human Relations and all the programs that are part of it, are those thought to be continuing as is, or is there a plan to perhaps revisit those programs? I'm just wanting to know. I'm not.
Some of my colleagues would like to have revisited them last week or two months ago. Some of the folks on the council would like that to be part of this discussion. I think we're making enough changes right now that I would like that to be something that we would discuss with you and with the director in evaluating what's been working well, what's not been working well, how could we utilize the staff more effectively. So no, the answer to your question is no, we're not proposing in this ordinance to make any changes to what the staff currently do.
That's my question.
So I haven't heard any questions, Kyle, from you or Christine. Do you have any comments that you want to add?
My questions have been answered. I was going to ask about the bully affiliation in response to the teeth question from Donna. That was going to be my suggestion as somebody that works with bully almost weekly. But no, I think my question's been answered.
When I was first conceptualizing what might this office do and looking what Seattle has done in other jurisdictions, I was thinking that it would be an internal component, an external component led by the Human Rights Commission and the work of the Office of Human Relations, and then a central civil rights and justice component. I think we're now at the point where we're establishing this new office, and Mr. Mayo is exactly right. We have been directed to do this. We don't have a choice.
But could you clarify, what is it you don't have a choice about?
You don't have a choice about merging the Office of Human Relations and the Office of Equity by the 21st.
Okay.
And that was not my preference.
I like to characterize it as political reality.
I
Being offered a choice.
think it's a very strong proposal. And we're going to get into discussion of that at a later part of the agenda. Is that correct?
And I should probably leave you to do that.
Well,
I appreciate
you're welcome to stay.
I appreciate that characterization. I was thinking that it would have been more helpful for us to have had some more discussions about how, when, more of the details like you have asked for. I think this can work really well, and I think that the addition of the Human Rights component, the addition of the Human Rights Commission, in addition to the Commission on Disability, really strengthens what we're going to do in the Office of Equity and helps
anticipate 5 votes in council for this ordinance? I mean, I guess the question about Commissioner Fish, do we need to be talking, I mean, I'm just curious, where is he in
I
office?
think if the Human Rights Commission can get to the point of supporting some version of this ordinance, we could even add an emergency clause and have 5 votes. I think that there's, the main thing that I mean, the beautiful testimony last week, 3 hours of it, everybody said, go forth and prosper. The only sticking point was, well, what about these 2 offices? Are we duplicating? How are they going to work together? I think what in my estimation, what this ordinance does is say, yeah, we will work together, we will be one entity, and we will then figure out as we move forward amongst ourselves who have the authority and the knowledge to figure that out, how that happens. If we could get the Human Rights Commission's support for this, I think we could get 5 votes.
Before you go, Commissioner, I noticed that in a lot of the documentation of the ordinance and the code, there's reference always to the Office of Equity and Human Rights. And so the code is basically talking about human rights. How does the code then place the commission in code language?
I'm sorry to understand.
Well, everything is described as human rights. That's a very huge umbrella. But in terms of the Human Rights Commission, how does it get listed in
It stays in its own section, Commissioner. It
right,
stays
but I
in-
understand that. I understand that. But the background, the whereases, I love that word. Talks about human rights, human rights, human rights, and I think once or twice there's a reference to Human Rights Commission. So I'm still unclear how that gets codified in the new
I think Commissioner Knoll's suggestion to add Q to acknowledge the good work and the contributions of the HRC over time and the CPRC as well as the Commission on Disabilities is part of that. But then we're not, and then we'll add G and the duties of the director that he or she will request input from the Human Rights Commission, Commission on Disability and other community advisors into their performance evaluation. That gets it in there. And then it's under D, it says that the director and the office will be working with the Human Rights Commission at the very first listed. But then, since we won't be changing section 129, that's where the authority of the Human Rights Commission continues in line with the mission that you've been, and the programs that you've been working on.
Yeah.
If I were to draw these boxes, Hector, I think it would look very similar to the way it does now, where our box is actually separate from the office. It's sits off to the side with an advisory connection to the council, a staffing relationship to the office, that includes the senior staff person and access to the director and the other resources. But we sit off to the side in the organization chart.
Have you actually seen that, or is that something that you're?
I have envisioned it, yes.
Yes, I'm just wondering if you actually saw that in the document.
He's seen it.
It's not in our proposal.
It's not proposed, but
But I agree with Commissioner Mazza that that's kind of what we want too.
And I just wanted to say, as to your leaving, if you have to go, then please feel free to do that. But I think based on this commission, that you're not afraid to talk in front of you.
I do actually have another appointment at 5, so I will, but I'd like to come back, because as Chair Fry has said, I think this process, even though painful over the last 6 months, has helped us get to know each other better, has helped us realize that we share many of the same goals, and that we need to work together to get more done. So I would like to come back. Thank you, Commissioner Macy, I appreciate that.
Before you leave, I have one question that this Exhibit C document over here, there's so many documents spread out, but I just noticed, and it's something we discussed, it's titled the Bureau of Human Rights and Equity. Do you guys know about the name?
This,
Oh, I see it here.
It's in the one.
she said that's not the right name, it's the Office of Equity and Human Rights.
We had talked about that.
If the Human Rights, there's some question about whether the word office or bureau gives an entity in the city more. The biggest bureau that we have in the city is the Office of Management and Finances, which has multiple bureaus underneath it. If the Human Rights Commission would like to suggest that it would be the Bureau of Equity and Human Rights rather than the office,
Office is a lot easier to pronounce.
well, it's, we got, also have to look at what the acronyms that people are gonna be
We
calling it.
only want a bureau if it's actually gonna come with power and authority and budget. And if it's just a, it's kinda like it don't matter what you call me, just call me for dinner.
Yeah. I think that's not nearly as important as conceptually, can we move forward, but if that's something that you're interested in, I'm open to it.
If, before the final draft, the council is open to some clarifying language,
Tonight, I am open to that. I have a subcommittee meeting tomorrow. I then will need to take it to the whole creation committee, which Alan and Damon are part of, and if you'd like to send another representative, that would be fine, on Tuesday, and then I have to file it on Wednesday. So yes, I'm open to it. We are, there's a lot of players who are very invested in this, and a lot of people who've put in a lot of work into the Office of Equity to this point, who are now very open to having the Human Rights Commission be part of it and open to your suggestions, but who also, because of the work that they've done and the investment of time they've put in, get to help say, yes, we agree to that, or no, we don't agree to that.
and I guess that I asked because there have been a lot of suggestions tonight about some clarifying language, and I guess, and I notice you've been taking notes, and so I'm just hoping that the comments that have been made from the commissioners here have been noted and hopefully will find their way in some.
Oh, I'm planning to put them before the subcommittee tomorrow. I think I got them all. If there are further ones that you think of it, I do my best work in the middle of the night, so if you think of something that do this, I'd be happy to consider it. Thank you.
We won't call, but we might email.
Email instead.